Hey guys, welcome to Dear Young One with Olakoni. And on today's show, we'll be talking about office politics. What is politics? Politics is how any society or organization or even a country chooses its leaders. In the office, politics takes a different dimension. It becomes more of a game of influence. Influence over the decisions that are taken in the workplace, essentially because the participants in office politics want to ensure that those decisions favor them and the people they like. So, as a young professional navigating the path of your career development in the workplace, office politics could be detrimental to your career or it could actually even be a boost to your career, depending on how well you play the game. So, what I want to do today is give you a few tips and guides on how to navigate office politics while developing your career. So, make sure you stay tuned. So, how do you navigate office politics while also trying to build your career as a young professional in the workplace? The thing you have to recognize first and foremost is office politics is one of those things that is always happening around you. People are always trying to gain influence by building relationships, building bridges, excelling on assignments, taking credit on assignments, ensuring that people their efforts are recognized, and so many other things. So in the workplace, it's very important as a young professional to first of all recognize this, and that it's not an evil thing or a bad thing, it's just the way of life that comes to happen in any office. Now, depending on how much is at stake in the organization, the politics could actually be even more aggressive or pretty docile. Because if you work in an organization that has a lot of compensation, perks, overseas trips, and benefits that are seemingly disproportionate to your regular compensation, then the politics will be quite aggressive because people want to ensure that they get those benefits. So you need to understand the kind of organization you work in, the culture of the organization, and then get a bit of a gauge or understanding of how the politics is played, if it's active or if it's aggressive, and so on. Now, in terms of tips that could really help you to ensure that as you navigate the world of office politics or your career development, you always end up on the right place. The first thing I'm going to tell you is that you need to always be professional. You need to always be professional. People should know that you are always about your job. They should see you as someone that is reliable at what you do. You should take time to develop yourself and ensure that you are good at what you do, and people can see the improvement in your ability to handle the tasks that are assigned to you on your desk. Maintaining a professional attitude to your job and in your relationships with people that you work with will go a long way in creating the kind of background testimonies or the kind of background support you need when navigating the world of office politics. Because people can attest to the fact that you are good at what you do and you are always about the job. Because the way office politics is often played, you won't be there to defend yourself when an argument needs to be made in your favor. It's people that know you, it's people that are there at that point in time, if they do know you, that will be able to actually defend you. So it is very important as a young professional to the first and pretty much the most important step is actually be good at what you do. Be very professional about what you do and be very good at it as well. So rather than spend time trying to seek favors from people in different offices or the likes, first of all, concentrate your efforts on becoming very good at your job. That is the most important thing. Another tip I will give you is you need to become a builder of bridges, a bridge builder. You need to be someone who makes relationships across levels and across departments in your organization. So don't just restrict yourself to being friendly or knowing people in just your department. Try and find and build relationships with other colleagues in other departments in your organization. Try and find and build relationships with other employees in your organization across levels, those senior to you and those junior to you. And this is important. Why? This is really important because when it comes to navigating office politics, the relationships you build give people more ability to support you, give people more impetus or more incentive to actually stand in your favor because there is a real relationship. So they know you besides just a name on their Outlook address book. They can put a face to the name and they know that, oh, I know this guy. I talked to this guy, we have coffee together, or we had coffee together once, and it seems a really nice chap. So it then becomes easier for them to take a stand when someone is actually bringing a negative report about you, or what someone is trying to make you look like you don't know what you're doing, or you don't deserve a particular issue, a top benefit or compensation that has been deserved. But that helps to create some knowledge of you. What often happens to a lot of young professionals is you get lost in the address book, you get lost in the mail, you get lost in the organization because your name is there on the address book, your name is there in the organization, but nobody knows you outside of maybe your close team or the people you actually work with. This can really be detrimental to your career. Because the fact is, as you grow in your career, you would have to relate with many people across many departments in your organization. You may require support from them on certain tasks or stuff that you're trying to do. And because there is no relationship, there is no incentive, or apart from them also trying to be as professional as they can be about their work, but there is no additional or extra incentive to be to put any additional effort to your task or to your request. Building those relationships will ensure that you actually have people you can call on to provide you some additional or extra support when you need it on a task or on a particular assignment. Another tip that is very vital is you need to humbly talk about your achievements. Now, I put it that way because it's critical that you talk about your achievements, but it's also important that you talk about it in a humble way. Now, what I mean when I say humbly, it's like saying you should humbly brag about your achievements. Because if nobody knows what you're doing and what you have succeeded at doing, then nobody can actually defend you when there is actually an issue that is being discussed and you're not there. You need to humbly talk about your achievements. People need to know what you are doing and what you are being successful at. When you actually achieve a milestone or a particular goal that has been set, make sure your boss knows. Make sure anybody that has a stake in what you do is also very aware of it. Now, the attitude with which you speak about your achievements should also matters a lot. It's important that you speak about this achievement oftentimes in reference to other things that you're still trying to achieve, or as a team effort, or sharing the credit with others, or in a situation where it needs to be seen that that particular thing has been done, but you're not trying to present it as if as a boast or something you achieved all by yourself. A good example would be, for instance, let's imagine you work in a bank and you've just recently signed a very large account, and you're talking in your team meeting and everybody's talking about what are the goals for the next month. You need to be able to, in such meetings, bring up the fact that, last month, one of the things I think we achieved, a significant thing we achieved last month was the fact that we were able to sign ABC company, and that brought an additional $300 million in deposits, and as well as a term deposit of about $1 billion into the business. Now, next month, part of what I really want to do is ensure that I build on that relationship to strengthen the ties we have with them and see how we can support them make more money so that they actually have more deposits to do with us, and also improve the way we can actually serve them as well. I'm also looking at other participants in the industry where I can apply the same marketing tactic that enabled us to win the account with ABC Company Limited. That is you talking about your achievement, but at the same time, in relation to something that you're trying to achieve. Now, people know that you actually won the ABC account and they know how much came in because of that, but it doesn't sound like you're trying to boast. It sounds like you're actually giving yourself a tougher target. You're actually giving yourself another target, which necessarily isn't quantified, but shows that you still have something you're focusing on. So you need to talk about your achievements. I mean, I work in an office as well where people are constantly talking about how, oh, they've done this much in terms of client relationships. They've done this in terms of data work that needs to be done and all sorts. You need to talk about your achievements. One of the reasons why people will rate you at what you do is just because of what they hear about you. Now, if you allow the only thing they hear about you be the negative gist that comes from the gossip mill or from the water cooler discussions, then that doesn't serve your cause in the office. So you need to ensure that you are talking about what you do and people know you and they know they can actually depend on you for certain things. So don't forget, let me quickly run through a couple of things I've talked about. Number one, you need to always be professional. Number two, you need to be a builder of bridges. You need to be a bridge builder, someone who builds relationships across levels in your office and across departments. And number three, which is very critical as well, you need to humbly talk about your achievements. When we come back, I want to share a story about a colleague of mine and an experience in the office he had and what he did and what he could have done different and how you as a young professional need to approach similar situations.